Well, here we are. We're back and ready to attack. Let me.
What are you doing?
This is okay. This is great. We're okay. I see where we're going. I see the vision. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're good.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, we're good. We're back. We're back, and welcome back again.
Sorry for the wait. Didn't mean to
um,
keep you guys waiting for so long.
it's been literally a year since we shot our last episode,
It's
and
been a long time.
now that we're 21, we can finally drink on camera. Cheers. This is what is this? 21 Seeds Valencia orange mixed in with some Tropicana orange juice.
So double orange.
Double orange. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, the tequila is strong in that.
Really? You must have poured yourself a lot. Cause
I did.
Mine's doesn't taste like tequila. It tastes like water.
Yours tastes like water. Mine
Yeah.
tastes like straight up tequila, bro.
Really? Do you want to try this?
Ooh. And some new changes. We have a producer now. Jasmine, if you want to say hi.
Go ahead.
Hey.
So, yeah, it's been literally a year since our last episode, and did you like it?
Doesn't look like it.
No, but it's been a year, and so much has happened within the year. I mean, we're in year 2 of the pandemic, and
Yeah. We didn't think it was gonna last this long, but
yeah, but I mean, now, things are now relaxed a little bit. Back then, it was kind of like we were scared shitless of what was gonna happen. I mean, we're still scared shitless, but we got vaccinated and shit, you know.
yeah.
And so, what's been going on with you? What's been going on with the Mondo Meister in the past year?
Just a lot of work and stress, work-related stress. But I'm going to try to move on from that and try to get back into creating again. I've been trying to get into music again. I wrote a couple of songs with my friend Hennick. Some of you might know him by O3. That's his music name.
He's a dope artist.
Yeah. We might have him on here pretty soon, so look forward to that. But other than that, I haven't really been doing much. We've been talking about making music videos, but we haven't really gotten into it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm definitely gonna step into soon, hopefully.
And he's shown me a couple of samples of his work, and it's pretty freaking fire.
Thanks.
When he we used to work together at this one place. It was a night crew job. Pardon my stuttering, but we used to work together, and he would show me the samples that he would make in the studio. And dude, let me tell you, if he ever releases this shit, it's gonna be a certified banger.
Thanks.
It's gonna be a TikTok viral hit, or
I don't know if it's that good.
it's gonna be that fucking great. You are a fucking great artist, and
Thanks. I appreciate it.
you definitely have a voice in fucking making music, especially hype music, dude. This motherfucker, he's so soft spoken, but once he gets on that mic, he can fucking get you fucking pumping.
Well, I will. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, dude. But how is your photography going? Or I know, for both of us, it's been super dead lately.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't been into it recently. It's not that I don't like photography anymore. It's just more that, I don't know. After COVID, it kind of changed the way things were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like you shouldn't go around people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And being a photographer that really hurt, because I was making connections and I was going out and seeing people and doing things, but then COVID hit, and then that stopped everything, and I had to think about myself and my family, and keeping them safe and not subjecting myself to the virus, so I kind of had to take a step back from meeting people and going out and doing all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I shouldn't let that stop me. That's not really a good excuse at the same time. You know, like,
Yeah.
because I could have, like, taken pictures at home or done whatever, and I didn't really put myself into that. You know what I mean? I kind of just, like, let it go, which I regret. I regret, like, just letting it go. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on the whole aspect of how when we first did this podcast, so because it was the beginning of coronavirus,
Yeah.
and there was, you know, that whole stigma, especially when it was still 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
There was still a stigma like, oh, you know, the virus is still around, you know, don't go meeting other people. And then, you know, it's hard because, of course, we want to keep our families safe, but it was hard to expand because expanding meant meeting new people, you know. And I think this new year, 2022, I think there's a more opportunities for that type of to grow in photography because now that there's, you know, safety plans in place, you know, it's not like how we didn't know back what was going to happen back then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely feel you on like letting letting the craft go, like, because I, you know, like you said, we, you know, you could always do it at home, but
Yeah.
sometimes it just gets like you look at your camera and you're just like, I don't know, man.
It's hard sometimes, but I don't know. You just have to go out and do it. You know, like that's why I'm glad that we're doing this podcast again because
Yeah.
you can talk so much about something but you have to actually do it for it to happen.
Yeah, if you talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk, you know. And but we did do a couple of photography sessions back. I mean, it was always like every here and there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like we haven't just like completely given up. We have had a few times where like we picked up the camera and we were like, "Hey, let's go." Like a few times, my friend Henrik, like I already said, he was doing a music video and he had me come out and do like behind the scenes, you know, like little stuff like that. But nothing like serious. What about you though? Like, what have you been up to this year?
So with photography, I stopped doing the normal like, let's set up a portrait, you know, type of session and all that because one, I got bombarded with work too because just like you know, it's like I've been bouncing from job to job, trying to find a place, and it's hard because, you know, as an adult, it's hard to manage time because you have to go to work to make money, right? And then on the side, you know, you want to do this, you want to like do what you love, but at the same time, it takes a toll on your time because you're spending so much time at work trying to get money to pay off bills and all that shit, right? So the remaining time you have, it's like you have to spend that energy wisely. And for the past year, you know, I've been trying to spend my energy like wisely, but you know, I'll be honest, and it's been hard because you're so exhausted from work, and then you pick up the camera and you're just like, I don't know if I want to like sit
You just
down.
want to relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had multiple sessions where people would ask me, "Hey, where's my pictures at?" And I'm like, bro, I'm fucking exhausted. I work at 9 to 5, and you know, it's kind of just like it's hard to pick up where you came from because when we started this podcast, we were just 19 years old. We kind of had the whole world.
Dang, we're 21 now.
Yeah, we're about to be 22 this year, dude.
That's crazy.
And it's crazy how we came, like we were like 19 creating this podcast, and how we had so much freedom that we didn't realize, you know. And I think for me, I didn't capitalize enough on that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I agree with you. But I totally understand what you were saying about like just not wanting to pick up your camera because there's been like several occasions where, you know, I've already like gone out and taken the pictures and I just can't bring myself to do anything with them. You know what I mean? Like I can think of like two times where I've taken pictures and I just like let it go and like the whole photo shoot just went to a waste, you know. And like I don't know, it's hard sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, and to that, you know, I also what I've been doing lately is I told you I stopped doing like portraits, like like how we used to pose back then.
Yeah.
Right? What I started kind of doing now is exploring kind of candid photography. Like whenever I would hang out with friends or go out, like I would just bring my camera and then I'd shoot pictures in a way where it was done like in the 2000s, where like our parents would like just take pictures of like the most random shit, or like, they'd be like, "Oh, here, take a look at the camera." I miss that time period because nobody does that anymore. I mean, we have Snapchat and
it's
have
different.
our
There's a
phones.
mosquito on me.
Oh shit!
It's okay.
You
I
get
killed
bit?
it. No, I killed it.
Okay, but I miss that time period because like I would look at like my folks' old like albums, right, and like you would see everybody just minding their own business and like they were just
having
living life.
fun.
Yeah, and now today it's kind of just like as soon as someone sees someone Snapchatting, it's always like
Yeah, or they're like, "Oh, delete that."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of like let's retake it. But then with Candid, it's kind of just like there's no retake. It's kind of just like it's in the moment, and that's what I love about it. It's just the simple nuance of having spontaneity.
Yeah, I've seen what you've been doing recently too, and I like it. I like it a lot. It does look like some pictures that you would take on like a disposable film camera.
Yeah,
and that's what I like those kind of pictures. Like, it just puts you back into that into that era,
And that's definitely like the model of what I try to follow because, it's kind of just like I miss that era so much. Like having a simple small point and shoot and all that. And like,
I remember in elementary school, or no, it was middle school?
No, elementary. I think I know what you're going with this.
I think we went to Mission Springs.
That's elementary, yeah.
And we had like little disposable cameras, and I remember just taking it to the field trip, and I don't know, it was just so fun, just like taking pictures of whatever I saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the cafeteria, like in the woods, around the campfire, just whatever I saw, I just took a picture. Yeah, and I miss that. I don't really do that anymore. And even when I do that, I kind of just let the pictures go. You know what I mean? Like I take a picture for a reason because I want to remember what I'm taking a picture of. But then when I get to the processing, I don't do anything with it. I just I'm like it doesn't really matter anymore, I guess.
And I still have those pictures. But so going back to it, we were discussing we had a short little technical difficulty, by the way, but we were talking about when we were in elementary school and how we used disposables during one of the most awesome field trips we had as children.
It was really cool. We went to like the forest in Santa Cruz, and I can't remember exactly what we did, but all I remember is putting a slug on my face.
Banana slugs, that's like the cardinal, or that's like the mascot for Santa Cruz is the banana slug.
It was slimy.
It was. I remember. I have a picture of me with the banana slug on my nose, and I remember I was like, "Oh my god!"
I probably still have a picture of it somewhere that we took on that disposable camera. We took a trip to Santa Cruz for Jasmine's birthday.
Yeah,
and I bought a disposable camera there, and I've yet to develop it. Yeah, but I should get on that now that I'm thinking about it. It was cool because it had like different filters that you put over the flash.
Okay.
So they're not just like regular pictures. They have like colored tints to them.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, and the cool thing about disposables back then was just like you never knew how it was gonna look.
Yeah.
And like it was always fun going to Walmart, giving it to them, and then a week later you get the pictures and the negatives back, and it was super cool.
Do you think it's weird that other people are handling your pictures, though?
I think about that a lot because back then, I mean, in the age before the digitized version of like pictures was a thing, I wonder how many motherfucking pictures like these motherfuckers, like these people like in the photo centers were just like, what the fuck? Or like,
like what even is this?
Yeah.
Or like imagine how many people like like took pictures of nudes and then had it go developed. Like I'm positive that someone out there has done that before.
You know, I'm just glad that you have now we have the technology to do that ourselves, so that we don't, you know. But yeah, I think there was I don't know, because the thing is too, a lot of the photo centers had like old white guys.
Oh yeah.
So like they saw, I'm pretty sure they saw a lot.
They saw some weird stuff.
I'm pretty sure. Just imagine seeing like a murder kind of like, you know, take place during a series of photos, and like I wonder if that ever happened.
I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest with you. And it could have been around like Halloween time too, so they wouldn't even known.
I know, and plus like I don't know, but then part of me is also thinking is if there's a layer of privacy between the photos, you know, like. So you know how like they develop the photos, like are they allowed to look at them, or you know?
I would assume.
You think so?
Because what if it comes out bad? You know what I mean? Like they have to make sure, don't they? Like you can't hand someone a blank piece of paper. You have to make sure there's a picture on it.
Yeah, yeah, because otherwise you want your money back.
Yeah,
but it's crazy what the 2000s and 90s might have like what they could have been, you know, but. Going back to the original topic at hand, you know, with the way that I've been shooting photos, I do try to emulate the whole 2000s feel. And it first started when I think I went on a trip to Modesto with a couple of friends of mine to visit another friend. And I remember I had my camera on me and I was just taking pictures of everybody having fun. And it was a fun experience, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing that whole disposable look type of aesthetic. But the one thing I loved about that experience was that although I was a person behind the camera, someone offered to like, you know, take a picture of me at one point. And
how did that feel?
It's, dude, honestly, as a photographer, it sucks that like I'm not in like 99% of like the pictures at parties or with friends, because I'm always the one behind the camera and no one usually speaks up like to be like, hey, let me take a picture of you, you know?
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's like, one, it's kind of lonely because like when you look back, you're like, oh, I'm not in the shot, but I know I was behind the camera, you know? But no one will know that but you or the people who was there with you, you know? And that's like super sad and super depressing and something that, you know, I hope for everyone listening, if you have a photographer friend, offer to take a picture of them once in a while, even if they hate it. Like legit, like have like if you see them like socializing at a party, like take a picture of them with that other person, because you never know how much it'll mean to them. Because for me, if someone took a picture of me with someone like I was socializing at a party, like I would be thankful, because it's like someone's recording me or documenting me, you know, just the way that I document others as well, you know.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Photographers usually don't have a lot of pictures of themselves. Yeah. If you look at a photographer's page, they don't post pictures of themselves. Unless it's like a self-portrait kind of person. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like self-portraits. I like taking pictures of myself.
Bro, this motherfucker is a god at self-portraits. Like, thanks. I remember during pandemic, he would send me these motherfucking cool shots of him, like, with various, like, you know, creative lighting techniques, and I'd be like, damn, motherfucker. And
I like playing with light. Yeah. I have these light bulbs at home. They're like Google whatever, and they change colors, and they're super, super bright, so you can like really see like the saturation and everything. And I have like 5 of them, so I put them like in all my different lamps and all my different like lights in the ceiling, and I just play with them, change the colors, and see what happens. You know, I think it's really fun, like playing with the different colors and everything.
Yeah, it's I could never do self portraits because I'm so self conscious. You know, it's a confidence issue. But today in class, I'm a communications major, and my professor, he actually, like, I enjoyed today's lecture, and he was telling the class that your confidence comes from what you tell yourself, you know, your perception of life and of yourself. Like if you tell yourself you're a shitty, whatever this or that, you're gonna think of yourself as a shitty whatever. But what if you change your thinking, be like, hey, I am capable of doing this, then you'll actually be capable of doing something because you're telling yourself something to believe in, because if you reinforce negative affirmations, you're just gonna get negative results. But if you reinforce positive affirmations, you'll get positive results.
It's kind of like manifesting.
Manifestation, yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, and my confidence, both in my looks and as my talent as a creative, I'm trying my best to open myself up to that, to be open to putting myself out there,
I think you look good. Look at you right now. You look stud. Look at that shirt.
Nah, bro, you got a whole ass look over here. But yeah, and another thing too, it's like what I'm trying to also overcome is I'm so tired of being an inconsistent artist.
Yeah, me too. Let's make a promise to ourselves. Well, for one, we're gonna start doing this podcast like seriously, with the help of our producer.
I know, like it's so cool that we have more on our team and all that, so that's dope.
Hopefully, we'll expand it, and if any of our watchers, viewers, want to come and help us out with this, you're more than welcome. Just give us an email. It'll be somewhere.
It'll be in the link somewhere. Yeah, we have a business email. We're professional.
Yeah, just let us know, and we're open to anything. So, yeah. But anyway,
oh, the tequila's kicking in.
It is, right? It's not bad. I said it was watery at first, but it's not really watery. It really tastes like oranges now. Yeah. I taste the orange, and maybe that's the orange juice. But I don't know. I want to try it just by itself.
Try it by itself, yeah. Nice. I'll pour you while you talk. Yeah. You were saying though.
What was I saying?
We were talking about inconsistency as artists.
Inconsistency. Yeah. For one, we're gonna start doing this. Oh, that's a lot. It's okay.
I'm not.
For one, we're gonna start doing this podcast seriously, and for two, let's start taking pictures more often, man.
Yeah.
And not even just pictures. Let's start trying to get into film too, even if it's just like whatever, like. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to, in the future, 10 years from now, I want to have video evidence that we lived our lives. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't want to, because memories fade. But video, like, we're in 2021. Video will last forever. Oh, shit.
You good? You drunk?
I mean, what was even last year? It didn't even happen.
Yeah. No, but to that sentiment, though, one of my favorite concepts or ideas was that
this is not good.
Here's some orange juice you want to but one of my favorite sentiments and ideas was that create even if no one's looking, because
gross.
It was gross, like, because the thing is, after we go away in the future, our family, like, they're gonna need something to look back on who we were as people. And this podcast, even if only 5 of you motherfuckers are listening, that's 5 of you who actually care about what we have to say,
Even if you don't care, you still listened. And that's all that matters.
And it's like, and that's what I love about art in general, is that the fact that we can express who we are, and it doesn't matter if a million people see it or one person sees it, and for us to do this podcast, like, because there was this one story where, like, someone who passed away, right, and their family didn't have a lot of memories of them, but they did, the person did a lot of, like, stuff, like, like a podcast or whatever, and, like, that podcast like meant so much to that family, and it's like, not saying that we're gonna die anytime soon, but more so just the fact that, like, in the future, if our, like, our, what was it, like, our children or grandchildren, if they ever want to know who we are as a people, like, this is concrete evidence as who we are right now, you know?
And people can change too, you know, like in 10 years from now, I'm sure that we're not going to be the same people that we are today. And it'll be nice to see, you know, kind of compare who we are now and who we are then, you know, like see what kind of morals we have now and what kind of, like, what's important to us now and what's not important to us in the future, you know. That's always, like, something that intrigues me. Like, I don't think that there's anyone that is the same their whole entire life. I don't think that's possible to be the same person.
No, because, you know, the beauty of, like, the human race is the fact that we're always evolving.
Yeah.
Evolving as a species. I don't know if you heard that. But we're evolving as human beings, but we're also evolving as individuals, you know? Like, I can tell you right now that the mindset that I had in high school is not the same that the mindset I have in college.
Yeah.
And after college, my mindset's always going to evolve, you know, because to put it in perspective, it's kind of just like when you have nothing, you see things in a different way. When you have nothing but a little something, you still see something in a different way, you know? But when you're stable, then you'll see, or when, like, you know, it's never a one-stop shop. It's always like you're never gonna be at one place at one time. You're always gonna be, like, in 5 years, you know, we might not even be in the same state, you know, or not in the same city or something like that. And, you know, that's not bad, because change is never bad. Change is actually really good, and that we should actually, you know, look forward to change. I sound like a politician right now.
It's okay. I just
bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
But yeah, dude, like, so going back to where before I went on that tangent was, I know you're aware that I'm creating a short film.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we first created this podcast to highlight the creative process of making our first short film. That's why it's called Behind the Frames.
Yeah.
But
guess what? We don't have any short film.
We didn't work on any motherfucking thing. But no, I'm really excited about this new project that I'm doing, and you're part of it. Obviously, you've signed on to help me with it, and it's a very personal project of mine. You know, so you guys get the sneak peek if you ever listen this far. But,
we're like 30 minutes in, so congratulations if you've made it this far.
But the short film that I'm gonna do is depicting, you know, a breakup. It's something I went through 2 years ago. I'm putting the pain that I went through into art, but not in a way where it's like my story or whoever's story, but more so I wanted to depict, you know, the ending of a relationship in a real way. Because on, like, you know, YouTube and everything else, like, whenever I would search up breakup films, it's always these, like, very stereotypical and cliche type of storylines, you know? But I wanted to, like, focus on the raw aspect of what that last conversation is when you're in a relationship, you know?
What I don't like about what they do nowadays is they usually make the people get back together in the end.
Yeah.
And that usually doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. You know, people usually move on with their lives when they break up. And if someone breaks up, it's usually for the better, you know, and that, you know, people. Sorry, I lost train of thought.
Is that alcohol kicking in?
It is a little bit.
But no, I do agree with you that, you know, after, because here's the thing, let me explain this better. Back then, my idea of love was that the fact, like, I thought, you know, through anything, things can be fixed, right? But there's just, you know, as I've lived and learned, and I've gone through my first relationship and everything, I've learned that, like, you know, sometimes two people aren't good for each other, you know? Like, when I was with my previous partner, we were just two different people, but we didn't realize it until it got to those final stages, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how it is in life. Sometimes you know, people meet people, but you might think there's a spark, but that spark usually dies out. But it's not a bad thing, you know?
No, it's not. You still had an experience out of it. You still learned something. And that's what's important, that you learned something. You know, you learned that that you don't want to be with a person like that. You know what I mean? You learned what you want to be with, and you learned, like what you want to do in your life. Like maybe not what you want to do, but like you got to see what kind of future you want at least.
Yeah.
What you want for yourself.
And that's exactly what these past 2 years have been for me. It's like a journey of like, what do I want as a person? Because back then I used to be a people pleaser. Like I used to, walk around eggshells and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. But now I see life as like, if I offend you based on what like I believe in whatever, then that's on you. And if you want to communicate, I'm open to it. But if you're not, then that's it. We can go our separate ways, because there's no point of salvaging a relationship if two people aren't willing to communicate.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I feel like relationships have to be built on communication.
Yeah.
Because without communication, what is it? Like, what is it without communication?
Just like my professor today, he was like saying that, communication is the first step into evolution. You can have two clashing ideas, but if you communicate with each other, you can compromise and make, a better idea, or like evolve as like better understanding individuals, like I'm gonna go on communications 101 because but like my professor was saying that, like, we have our beliefs, that's called our thesis, right? And then there's an opposing thesis, which is called the antithesis, right? And with those two colliding, if you work together to form one thesis, is called a synthesis, and that synthesis evolves society. And through like the evolution of society and through evolution of any relationship, conflict is at the heart of it. And I know we see conflict as like a bad thing, but conflict is a good thing if you handle it correctly. And like with relationships, especially in this short film that I'm making, like I'm highlighting that conflict, where, so like, how any breakup is, right?
Yeah.
Like with a conflict in a relationship, I'm highlighting like where it can go wrong, But in reality, if you open yourself up to an individual and understand that other individual, you can like you can understand each other and create something better, or leave things like agree to disagree and leave things at that.
I think that conflict is the one way to like really understand someone, because that's when you, in order to understand someone, you have to know where they're from. You know what I mean? And you can't really see that without conflict. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Hold that thought. We're gonna pause real quick.
Are you recording?
Yeah, everything good on your end? Awesome, we're back. We took a little break.
Sorry, it's like the second time we've done this episode. We usually don't take this many breaks.
It's okay.
How do you like your drink? Is that still your first drink?
Still my first drink.
You better drink that. You better catch up.
Bro,
you better catch up to me. You poured me hella. Bro,
you saw how much I poured on mine.
I didn't see how much you poured.
Matched. I put a little bit of yours.
Okay, fine.
But moving on, we were talking about relationships and all that shit, right? But so what about you? What's going on with you? What are your plans in the future?
My plans? Well, I definitely want to get back into music. I don't know like what I want to do with my life necessarily. Like I want to like be like a singer, a rapper, or whatever. Like I'm not really like a rapper. You know what I mean? I don't have a great voice, but I don't know. I do like music. I do like want to do something in music. I enjoy it a lot. I like writing. I like the whole process, But at the same time, I do still like have a passion for photography. I do want to, get back into that. I really want to get back into photography. I want to start taking pictures, even if it's just like self-portraits, like how we were talking about. Like I wouldn't even mind doing that, just even if it's at home. But other than that, me and Henrik have been talking about making a music video. Hopefully, we'll be recording it soon, like within the week, to be honest with you. Like, okay. So yeah, if you guys are listening, watch out for that if you want to see my music video. We'll sample a clip of my song in a minute. It's a work in progress. I don't have a title for it yet. Just have a listen, and we'll be right back.
I've been smoking for the hell of it, but my lungs, I keep coughing like I'm hella sick. I've been smoking for the hell of it. Fuck my lungs, I keep coughing like I'm hella sick. Call the plug, asking for about a quarter zip. On some drugs and I'm passing out some counterfeits. I've been feeling good, baby, I've been feeling great. You've been trying to go, take a trip out to LA. I've been playing medications, running from the blame. Nauseating celebrations, now they all the same.
Okay, we're back.
So that's so cool though. Like, you know, being a photographer and being a musician, like you can make your own album art and like, you know, you don't have to rely on like hiring someone else and all that. So that's cool. Yeah. And do you plan on making like an EP or an album?
Yeah, definitely. I have like 4 or 5 songs that I'm working on right now. I plan on having a complete EP before I really release anything.
Yeah.
But if we do, I have like 2 finished songs, and if we record these music videos this month, then I'll release those 2 songs. But I'll still include those ones on the EP. You know what I mean? I won't release anything else until the EP's out.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that, you know, I get back in the studio sometime soon.
Yeah, dude, I'm hella excited, especially since the samples he showed me, man. I can't wait for the full thing, dude. Because he has, I'm gonna expose you right now, but his SoundCloud, holy shit, bro, bangers upon bangers upon bangers. It's a banger city right there.
They're not that good.
They're great. You're selling yourself short. They're fucking great. I'm telling you right now, it's fucking great. But I do, you know, I hope the best for you. Like, honestly, like,
thank you.
I can't wait to see it, honestly.
Thanks.
But yeah, dude. Should we segue into the next topic? Because so this podcast, we created this in 2020 when we were like 19 years old. Because we had ambitions of creating a short film together, and we're gonna make a short film together, especially sooner. It died. That's great.
Does that take batteries or does it charge?
It's a charge. Yeah. Hold on. We're gonna keep it going. How's it a lot? Is it better now? Okay, we're gonna take another pause real quick. So, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, one last break. Our lights died out, so now we gotta use the overhead lights. But
sorry for the inconsistency.
But we were talking about how you, as in you know, making music, as you know, your EP and everything.
Yeah. Hopefully, you know, you guys can look out for that soon. I really want to have something out within the month. Okay. Like I do. I want to have something out in the month, and we should really start taking pictures. Like we should set a goal for ourselves. Like every week, we should take at least like one photo shoot. You know what I mean? Like, and you guys are here for that.
And you know. Now that it's set on camera, we gotta take accountability, you know, so we can't just fucking slack off. But I just realized before we even cut, we were at a different topic, but let's go back to the other topic. Okay. Yeah. But like we were saying, we started this podcast because we wanted to create a short film back in 2020, but pandemic hit, right? But this podcast is gonna change, not in a drastic way, but more so the fact that it's not just about us and our creative process, but more so everybody else in their creative process, artists, you know, people who take their craft seriously, you know, because we met a bunch of people who are like really good at what they do, and you know, it doesn't have to relate certainly to art, you know, but more so like the fact, well, every process is artistic in a way, so you know, everything is art, but so with the show going forward, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring on someone new every day, or not every day, but every episode, hopefully every episode, and interview them. Either Mondo is gonna interview them, or I'm gonna interview them, or both of us are gonna interview them. But it's an exciting venture that we're gonna do and be partaking in.
We're also gonna like try to segue into our own things too. So maybe it might just not be both of us. It might just be CJ, or it just might be me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you see just one of us, don't be surprised.
Don't think that there's
Yeah.
any beef. Like, legit, this show, we're gonna do so many different things, and like he said, like sometimes it's not gonna be the both of us. Sometimes it's gonna be one of us. But the idea is that we're exploring new things and trying to expand and all that.
We don't really want any limits to what we do. We don't want to set ourselves to one thing and one thing only. We want to have room for expansion and opportunity.
Yeah, and speaking of opportunity, we're gonna start expanding this not only on like YouTube and like Spotify and everything, but more so we're gonna start putting more TikToks out, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be basically trying our best to be content creators.
Yeah, I really want to get serious about this. Like my goal for this year is just to be a content creator and really like set myself into that position, because I've been talking about it for so long, and I've been dreaming about being a photographer, or being a videographer, doing something creative, but I haven't actually done anything. I haven't actually set myself into that position to where I'm doing it, taking pictures, doing whatever I want to do, and I regret it. I regret wasting my time doing nothing. And if you guys are out there and you want to do something, it doesn't have to be anything related to photography or videography or whatever. It could just be anything. It'd be learning a sport, learning the guitar, learning anything. Just do it. If you want to do it, just do it. Don't waste your time thinking about it. Just do it.
There's a very famous saying by our favorite little green alien, Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. And it's true. Like legit, like earlier this year I tried skateboarding.
Yeah, and it was
And
fun, right?
it was
fun.
Although I almost ate shit like 5 different times. I remember I went to the park once, right, to try practicing skateboarding without you.
Yeah.
And this little girl on a bike kept passing me by, right? And she was like, "Are you ever gonna like ride that skateboard?" And I'm like, "I'm trying." And like I was just like, "Stop! I'm being self-conscious." But no, like I mean, I still don't know how to skateboard, but at least I tried, And
Yeah, and that's all it takes is to try. You know what I mean? And it might be scary to try, but sometimes that's all it takes is just to try. It won't be scary forever. It'll just be scary for the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, like legit, it's like riding a bike. Like I remember when I first started riding a bike, I did in my garage in circles, and I would always get scrapes by my ankles because I would always try to like brake with my feet. But eventually I just learned how to fucking fly. Yeah, and speaking of flying, let's fly to the end zone.
Touchdown.
We're not sports people, but yeah, this is honestly, I'm so glad we're back in this, and hopefully we can start recording, or we can start pushing out episodes every Friday, and we can get newer people come in and interview and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, if you guys want to be on this podcast, just let us know. Drop a comment, leave us an email, and we'll get back at you. You'll be on it just like that. We don't even care. We'll hire like Walmart. We'll take anybody.
Yeah, legit. And another cool thing about podcasts and with what we're doing is also like I love connecting with people on a different level. Like talking is actually pretty fun. When you actually like converse with someone, like especially with a stranger, it's like you can learn so much from someone else's life, and like because people have lived lives before you and they'll live lives after you.
especially after everything that's happened. You know, like being secluded, you know, just by yourself alone in your house for so long, it really like deprived everyone of human interaction. And I feel like that's all that everyone needs right now. It's just a little bit of human interaction.
And I think that's the main goal of this podcast, is that we just want to get as much human interaction as we can get, but, you know.
And that brings us to our last conversation. I think, what do you like about podcasts, CJ? Like, I really want to talk about that. What do you like about podcasts?
One, what I love about podcasts is that from the podcasts I listen to, like, there's a lot of variety in the guest, you know, like, like, another thing, too, is just the stories that, when you bring people on, like, the stories that they tell you and the experiences they've gone through, it's like, I've only been on this earth, like, 21 years, but, like, someone who's been on this earth longer than me, like, it's, you know, I've talked to people who are older than me, and I've talked to people who are younger than me. Like, they have different perspectives, and my favorite podcasts are always people who have two different perspectives on life, because now you have one person who has this idea of life, and then another person who has a different idea of life, and they're coming together to share those ideas of life, and it's just like, it's so fresh and invigorating, and it's so awesome to hear about, and like, I want to be part of that experience, you know?
Yeah. And
how about you?
I feel like what draws me to podcasts so much is just the human interaction part. You know, it's just the conversation. You know, when in the real world, when I'm not, you know, recording or making music, I'm a very, very like quiet person. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't talk very much. I'm very to myself, especially in public. You know, I don't like speaking to new people. It's scary for me. But what I like about podcasts is that you don't have to necessarily talk to anybody. You just have to listen. And that's what I feel like I'm best at, is listening. You know, I'm really good at just sitting there and taking information in rather than spitting it out, you know. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a podcast, is to get out of my comfort zone of you know, being shy and reserved. But anyway, what I was saying about what I like about podcasts is, you know, I just like being able to sit there and listen to someone else speak and have a conversation. I feel like I'm kind of in that conversation in the moment. You know, it makes me feel included, even though I'm not really included in the conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And I hope that whoever's listening at this point, I hope that you feel included in our conversations. And yeah, and I think it's the best time to end it here at the almost hour mark.
Yeah.
Or close to it. But we'll put all our links to the description below, so if you want to find us, all will be there. And we'll see you next Friday, hopefully. And yeah, you have any closing remarks that you want to say?
If you're new, I hope you liked it. And if you see us on TikTok, I'm glad that we made it to TikTok.
Or on your For You page, at least. But thank you for listening to us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.